Hi. People call me a lot of things, but I'm also known as Ryan, and I wanted to do something a little different today. I wanted to look back at some older ideas, some unfinished ideas that could be up to 20 years old at this point, and talk about doodling. The idea, obviously, coming from a more physical art sketch based medium. The idea being that you're going to open up a blank canvas of whatever your art might be and just try some stuff on your own. If you're trying to learn anime eyes, having that 4, 5, 17 pages of these attempts, you're not going to show anybody, but you're just, you're trying the muscles, you're trying to see if you can come up with your own idea, whatever you're doing. Doing the same thing musically, and working your way up to a point where you actually might like a song and want to continue. We'll discuss all of that. So you can see I've got some music over here, some strange names. I've got the media player over here that's going to show us what we're listening to. We're going to listen to some of these together. Speaking about this music, I want to first mention naming conventions before we listen. I don't know what 2, 3, 16, AAER, acoustic, 12. I don't know what these are, and that's my fault. Going to school, they taught us to at least give yourself a date and time stamp, maybe what key you're in, what BPM, how fast or slow you're going, what meter or tempo, whatever you've got, something to let you know what you were thinking at the time or what you kind of want it to be about. I don't have all of those ready to go, so we're going to listen to some of these. We're going to fix these odd naming conventions. So let's start with listening. Now, I haven't heard these in a while. These are all part of an old drawer folder, I guess, on my hard drive, full of stuff, ideas that I've kept because, it was my digital trying out eyeballs and noses and facial features. But, for songs, this style, that style, drums, bass, guitar, whatever. I kept all of it because you never know what's going to spark an idea. You never know what somebody else might want. I mean, how many of these top tier pop artists have written a song and given it to somebody else? I'm pretty sure the Pharrell and the Neptunes made something and they ended up either selling it. I think they were making it for Bruno Mars, but it was "You See Me Driving Around Town with the Girl I Love" or to CeeLo Green, and so you never know what's going to come out and who might use it if it's not going to be you. There's plenty in here that's definitely not going to be performed by me on stage, but it could work in a video game or some other band with another sound. Anyway, let's start with this first file, number 2. Let's see what happens here. Okay, so it's rock. Makes sense. Okay, so that's what that is, and that's been sitting in that folder forever. Let's do ourselves a favor. Let's give us at least some basic information. Grunge intro. Better than the number 2, right? So, okay, that actually might be something that I could see myself using, especially now that I've developed more of my own sound with the music I play on stage. That's something I think I'd like to keep. I can see where that might go. I wanted to mention that in these years where I was just throwing down ideas and then, doing whatever was happening at life at the time, I would show some of these to families and friends. Hey, is this cool? What do you think? Give me a little feedback. And, when I started creating, everybody would either say yes or no, whatever was going on. But then it started to get to a point as time progressed that they would start to get annoyed that these ideas weren't finished. They'd say, okay, look, you've shown me a couple that I like, keep going because you keep showing me half of an idea and I really need to hear the rest. And that was a good catalyst for getting myself past, I don't know what words to use. I think Eminem said that in a song. Or what do I do after this fill? I don't know what to do with the drums. I'm not a bass player. What do I come up with? That was always in the way, of course. But personally, having my friends say, just keep going, forced me to learn new techniques to get past my barrier. And we'll cover that as we go on. So let's move on to the next one. Fast grunge intro is pretty cool. 3, starting square one here. Bit epic. tell it was in college for me personally. Just some of the sounds. The horns. I was learning a lot of that in music school. Okay. That's hilarious. So that's me attempting to shred. I do all of that music by myself. I play that guitar for real, but my actual shredding ability for solos, it's about what you heard. 3 notes, just kind of smashing it. You know, that's not a bad time to maybe feature a guitar player. There's plenty of songs. You can go, there's at least one on the first Yardapalooza album called What If, where a good friend of mine does the guitar solo. I just played a live show, and one of my other good friends was coming up with his own solos on top of, you know, my established songs, and it was great. So there's a good way to get around some of your own blocks is bring somebody else in, even just for a writing day. Just, hey, what do you think about this song? Bring your guitar, play mine, try some stuff. Somebody's gonna play something different, even if they're playing your written out part. They're physically different than you. They have different fingers. They have a different way that they breathe. All these things are tiny variations, but it matters. I mean, trust me. Have somebody come over, try out something, even on something that you've been playing, and you'll hear what I'm saying. And you can use those differences. Maybe that even just somebody else trying it might be enough. Somebody doing something that you wouldn't even think of. In an earlier video, I said I use loops sometimes, especially the drums, to kickstart an idea. You know, I need something that I'm not going to come up with that I can play off of, and a loop is a good way to start. I don't usually like to use just a song of all loops, but yeah. So this was pretty epic. Let's get away from 3, and let's do. It's kind of moderate. Moderate. Epic space rock. It's something. It's better than the number 3. 16. I love a good organ. Okay. Probably not something I might keep around. I don't know. I think that's pretty neat. It's a little theatrical. The organ and the piano, it's something along the lines of, I think there's what's that band? Harken, I believe. They do a song called the Cockroach King, something like that. I will look it up. I will link it in the description below. It's just like that. Or there's a Spock's Beard is another band. The Deer Hunter, if you want to go a bit more modern. Maybe even a little Dream Theater. It sounded very storytelly. Maybe something for even like a short film or a movie. You know, I don't know if I'd bring something like that on stage, but I don't hate it. I obviously kept it for a reason. I like I definitely like the drums, the ghost notes. That was cool. To give myself compliments, I guess. It's been so long since I've heard these. I kind of don't feel like I'm listening to my own music. I just feel like I'm listening to some music I found, which is pretty wild. I'd say that's fast. I'd say fast theater rock. What are Ayers about? Oh, speaking of organs. Cool. Neat. Yeah, that was really cool. Actually, I like that one a lot. I'm not sure. It's definitely not rock. It could be. Maybe a little space organ. Hold on, let me turn this desktop audio down. Sorry for this noise. Cool. I like that. I'm not quite sure. I think I've had that one for quite a long time. I started college in 2014, and I think that was one of the earlier ones. Slow organ. We'll call it rock. Actually, no, I don't want to. I was gonna call it runk because it's a bit funky. Boom, down, boom, boom, boom. Funk rock. Maybe that might sound pretty cool if I could get some actual, like slap bass on there. Boom, bow, boom, a little Red Hot Chili Peppers with a little more organ soul on top. That's kind of a neat idea. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm actually gonna add in parentheses. Oops, I deleted it, but you can undo that. What did I just call that? Oh well. Well, I was just going to add Chili Peppers onto it, but it just did weird stuff. So let's go to Acoustic 12. Okay, this is early. Can you even hear that? I remember this one. This was an idea that I didn't want to lose before I even moved to Chicago. I was sitting in a friend's kitchen and they had a what were those? The iMac, and it had an onboard microphone. He had an acoustic guitar. I had this idea. I swear I remember this. Sitting in that kitchen just thinking about it. What am I gonna do? It was after the military but before school, and I was just thinking about, life, and I was deciding to come to Chicago. It's pretty triumphant stuff. I was swell. It's cool. Okay, so sorry to get nostalgic on you, but that's a example of just getting something down so you don't forget it, working on with whatever tools you have. That was a terrible sounding microphone, but the guitar was there. I could easily, hear what was going on, and I could re-record that. There's if it sounds like crap, it can be okay. First off, some people like crap. Everybody likes a little bit, or somebody likes a little bit of everything. So no matter what, it's just, if you like to create. If you feel like you want to meet a specific standard, if you're trying to get in with specific, crowds, if you have a certain appreciation for things and a standard you'd like to be at, then by all means do it. But that doesn't mean you have to do it every single time. You're just trying to get in there. You can throw this stuff down, hide it in a folder, listen to it by yourself on your phone, and just do whatever comes next. Work your way to getting better equipment over time, re-record some stuff, release it as is. Maybe somebody will find a little cassette tape at to date myself. I'm not that old, but maybe somebody finds it and they go, wow, that's a lot of potential. Let's get this guy in the studio, get this girl in the studio, get this whatever's going on in the studio, and let's do something. So we're going to go with moderate acoustic nostalgia. Now look, I'm not, like I said earlier, this should be like how fast this is, the tempo. This should be the key signature I'm in, or at least what time signature I'm in. But these are kind of my notes. We're here for us. I can literally pull up this video anytime if I'm confused. But this is at least for stuff that I don't have that information for. Going forward, I can absolutely say, yeah, this is it, this tempo, this whatever. But for these older ideas, at least telling myself sonically where we are with these files versus, I don't know, BA. All right. Well, I'm obviously going to work on this one. Now, if you know my music at all, you'll know that I don't sound like this usually, but this is absolutely me trying out different sounds. Okay, so this is definitely slow piano beat. This is kind of calling back to when I was talking about having things that you make that might not necessarily be for you or be for you at the time. I love the idea of releasing a ton of different types of music. I am worried about cornering myself sonically. Yeah, aka Ryan, he's that rock guy. And maybe it'll play out like that. I don't know, but I'm definitely going to keep creating stuff like this, and I don't mind trying out different things. Because whatever, my rock songs and anything else that I might come out with that's not rock, it's all coming from the same place. And I'm not really trying to fit in or please anybody. I'm just having a good time. And I also genuinely believe that there is value to this, to a playlist. Everybody loves a good playlist, especially in the streaming age where you go from, let's go Slipknot to Count Basie to Michael Jackson to Migos to Smartless podcast while you're doing dishes, and it's all in the same, February playlist. I like the idea of releasing basically a playlist of different types of music. I don't know if that we'll see in the future. If any of this plays out, I don't know if that's going to be like a rock album, jazz album, hip hop album, whatever's going on, or just each album has a bunch of different stuff like this. This is, I can easily pop on Slipknot and then go to Eminem. So why can't I release a song that sounds like Slipknot and then the next one sounds like Eminem as examples? Two obviously incredible examples. Okay. Actually, I think I remember C-Body, and I kind of wanted to show this to you guys. This is about... No. I'm going to hold on to this one because. And maybe you'll see why. Maybe I'll still make the video. Fun Mouth. I don't remember what it sounds like, but I do remember the story. So I had to get some of my instruments just, taken care of. You take them to the shop just like a car. You get all of your tune-ups and repairs done by people, if you don't know what you're doing, like me, who know what they're doing. But it was going to take a little bit, and I didn't feel like doing a lot of keyboard stuff at the time because I was really getting into some guitar, but I still wanted to create, so I set a parameter to only use a microphone. This is what that sounds like. Come on. Pretty cool. Mouth trumpet. Cool. So I told you the story of how that kind of came to be. I totally forgot about mouth trumpets and claps and the boom 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 boom. It's that, and then pitch down an octave to get that really like kind of synthy weird. It gives it that I don't know, little personality that I dug. Yeah, I really like that. Don't know what to do with it. I think maybe it could make a cool kind of music video. That could be something. That could be a music video in the future. I like that. I'm gonna hold on to that. Let's do a couple more of these. But I hope this is highlighting what I was talking about doodles. Trying out anything. No, even if there's no, I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. I sat behind a microphone with my mouth and I went for a little bit and had a good time. Sounds kind of cool. But what do you do with something like that? So I threw it in the folder, and these years later, I'm thinking about videos now that I'm doing video stuff. I'm thinking about maybe getting now that I'm playing with groups, finding a moment on stage to do a weird acapella thing with that. That would surprise some people. Why not? It's a show. It doesn't have to be, the same thing you see at every rock concert. Why not? Let's party. So, don't short yourself by saying this is dumb, nobody's gonna like this, I don't know what to do with it. Just hold on to it. It might just not be the right time, right? Might be the right place, might not be the right time, vice versa. You never know. Let's do a couple more. Go back. More organ. Morgan. Let's go to the 5. Excuse me? This must have been... Yeah. I think this was like, I think this was definitely during the the Mark Ronson Uptown Funk era. We were in college living together as friends, dancing in the kitchen at 2 in the morning. I can understand my friends when they say it's really annoying that that groove doesn't continue. Do something with that. That's a pretty obvious continue. Let's do moderate funk Bronson. I like that. And before I forget, fun mouth. I'm gonna say acapella techno. Right, techno beat. 2 more. Let's skip down here. I don't know. These are all been so different. I'm going down the list here. Let's Yeah, do it. So, okay, I like that one. That's like early Foo Fighters. It doesn't sound like Foo Fighters, but I'm saying like Monkey Wrench or before that era. I like that. So I was just humming a melody I started thinking about, and that's what I'm talking about when you're a little stuck on maybe an older idea or even a current idea. Step away for a little bit, be it an hour, 10 minutes, or 10 years, and pop it back on, grab an instrument, guitar, keys, your voice, drums, whatever, and just start playing on top of it. Jam with yourself. If you're doing the writing, or if you're helping with your band, just kind of jam along, put it on repeat, and see if something, comes up. Do some weird stuff. You never know. Nobody's going to listen. You're not going to get yelled at especially if you're writing, because nothing is permanent when you're writing. Nothing is permanent. That's a little deep for today's podcast video. But just play. You never know what you might end up inspiring yourself with, even if it's a mistake. I cannot tell you how many times I've played something wrong, but the rhythm was so much cooler that I then changed the entire stanza or phrase or whatever to either, if not to that entire rhythm, or to serve that rhythm entirely. So there's no wrong answers when you're making. I'll say that in a lot of my writing sessions. So let's do slow early foos. I want to jump down here. I'm curious about Project 5 and 6, and then let's get out of here. We can check some of these out another time. Okay. Pretty standard blues. Okay. Oh, nice rhythm there, Rye. That's fun. It almost sounds like there's any of you elder gamers out there who had a Sega Genesis might remember. God, what was that casino? I don't know. I don't want to waste too much time on it, but it was a casino game. You would walk around and you would do gambling. It was basically a casino simulator for the Sega Genesis, and I remember the music being actually quite catchy. I used to play with my brother on Easter all the time. Let's do moderate blues. That was definitely a clav, so let's say clav so I know what I'm talking about. Last one, Project 6. What am I talking about? No repeats, I guess. I need a drum set. Interesting. So let's go moderate. That's not hip hop. Funk? Is that yeah, it's a little funky. Moderate straight funk. That's pretty simple, to the point. Okay, so we listened to a few of the older ideas. I really like this. I want to pull some more out. See if I can find anything older. There's some stuff that I have from. I wonder if I have anything from pre-2000. That'd be pretty wild. I'll dig and see what I can find. Some stuff that might still be burned on CDs somewhere in a box. I want to maybe even one day pick a couple of these, throw them into the DAW on one of the writing session days, and let's take an old idea and let's work together through writer's block or through the whole process of what do I do next? What's a good way to try something? How do I get out of my own head? Let's cover some of that stuff next time. Thanks for hanging out. Check us out, akaRyan.com. I've got everything there. The podcast, the local show reviews, anything going on with me, it's all on the website. See you guys next time. Thanks for hanging out. That's cool.